you're seeing this, you're actually lucky because this short has no title, no description, no tags. Yeah, nothing. Which means the algorithm...
Hey, give me a strawberry.
Take down all the mirrors in my house.
Show off your resting face to see if...
Guys, I'm going to get a haircut.
Is this safety phone?
When you use an inhaler, a cloud of medicine passes through the mouth and into the trachea. As this fine mist travels deeper, it reaches the tight, constricted muscles around the airways. The medication sends signals to the muscles to relax, causing the airways to widen. And as they open up, it allows the air to freely flow, which helps you breathe. When you use an inhaler, a cloud... He cut the ropes from the whale before its tail swung up and smashed into him. You see, for 15 years, he followed whales that were tangled in fishing gear. The ropes dug into their skin, cutting deeper each time they swam, stopping them from reaching the surface to breathe. So he cut the ropes, pulled the lines, and set dozens of whales free. And each rescue made him more confident while working inches away from the huge creatures. But the one he freed that day swung its tail as it swam away. And just like that, his final act of compassion became the cause of his death. He cut the ropes from the whale before its tail swung up and smashed into him. Stab a straight stick into flat, sunny ground. Then place a rock at the tip of its shadow, marking your first point. Now wait 10 to 15 minutes before dropping a second rock at the shadow's new tip. You see, the sun moves west, so shadows crawl the opposite way. That means your first rock marks west, and the second marks east. Stand with the first rock on your left, second on your right, and just like that, you've found north. Stab a straight stick into flat, sunny ground. Then place a rock at the tip of its shadow. He cut the ropes from the whale before its tail swung up and smashed in. Stab a straight stick into... You would press a button and a satellite would uncover a 60-foot mirror. The sunlight would hit it, bouncing off before hitting the earth. This would create a patch of light, letting you sunbathe even at night. But this would also take at least 3,000 satellites, clogging up the sky. Animals could lose their sense of night, flowers could bloom at the wrong time, and you might just piss off your neighbors. You would press a button and a satellite would... If you put the corn like this directly in the... If you took every car on Earth and crushed each one into a cube, you would get a pile that weighed over 2 billion tons. And if you melted it down and skimmed off the rubber and plastic at the top, you would be left with around 1 billion tons of metal. You could forge that metal into beams, enough to build your own Golden Gate Bridge that could stretch all the way around the entire Earth. Only there wouldn't be any cars to drive across it. If you took a DVD and tried to make a copy, it would not work. Because as the sword hit the helmet, the slanted face caught the blade, the car blew a tire, swerved onto the sidewalk, and he climbed into the rubber suit. Wire a circuit board to record voices, then add memory chips that can store a couple hours of conversations and sounds. Lock that memory inside a tiny... As he eats, the soup would slide. If they built the castle over 200 feet, it would need a giant flashing red light on top to stop airplanes from crashing into it. Now, this would ruin the look of the castle, as well as the vibe of the whole park. So instead, as they built each floor, they made everything a little smaller the higher they went. You see, things naturally look smaller when they're further away. And when the top is actually smaller, your brain just assumes it's higher up, which resulted in a castle that looks really tall, but is under 200 feet. If they built the... She arrived at a party where everyone was... They rest their thumb on the controller's D. A thin tattoo is pressed onto your throat, and once it sticks, when an acorn falls off an oak tree, a squirrel At noon, sunlight will travel down a shaft in the mountain until it lands on a metal wire. The sunlight will heat it, and the metal will slightly change shape. That tiny movement will nudge the clock's gears forward, keeping it aligned with the sun. At the same time, a massive pendulum will swing inside, driving gears that track time. So once a year, a small hand will move one space. After 100 years, the century hand will move. And every 1,000 years, the clock will display the new millennium. Now, the clock is still under construction, but when finished, it's designed to run for the next 10,000 years. At noon, sunlight pulled the key over a lighter. He cut the laptop in half with a saw, then the phone, the TV, and even an entire car. You see, he was getting divorced, and his wife was supposed to get half of everything. So he sent half of each item to her and put his halves up on eBay. Now, the story went viral, and he ended up raising 2,000 euros from the listings. But a group of lawyers actually made the whole thing up as a prank. You see, they wanted to convince couples to make legal agreements. He was found alone on an island. He lifted her onto his back. They cut a cross into the wooden block and inserted it on top of the pillar. Next, they carved. After the concert, he edited the band's Wikipedia page on his phone, then told the security guard that he was related to them. To prove it, he pulled up the page and showed his ID. And when the guard saw his name listed as family, he believed it and let the man backstage. When he met the band, he immediately confessed. But they found it so funny that they invited him in for drinks and even took his number. And the next day, their page was changed again, now listing him as a legend. After the liquid is poured through the opening and into the spinning roll, they hit the lock with a sledgehammer, then tried to open it.
Also, the YouTuber was actually McNally official.
With bolt.
He actually used a piece of metal to unlock it. I saw on his YouTube channel.
Bolt cutters.
Until I saw the video of that, what's it called, vlog, and I literally saw him. This is my airport on the wall. Not on the. This is my right ear. This is my left ear. This thing, like, he broke it for people. She opened it, not break it. But they can't break it, bro. Because then they're like, not like this one. Because this, they said it's unbreakable. It's, you could literally, you have keys. You're the only one. But if you're trying to get in, or you forgot where you left the keys, just cut off a piece of bottle of, a canned bottle of soda, and then use that. Then, if you watch McNally official, you find this lock right here. If you see find that lock, then what's it called? Then you could get like the shape you need. You just need like a little big piece of metal of the can. And then you can unbox. Because like, well, that's for if you forgot the keys.
And when they couldn't, the company called the lock unbreakable. But a YouTuber cut a slice from an aluminum
That's McNally
can, slid it into the lock's barrel, and hooked it on the other side. When he yanked it, the lock opened, proving the marketing was a lie. Because of this, the company sent him threatening messages and eventually sued him. But in court, they admitted his technique worked and eventually dropped the case.
Nelly officer. This is my. This is McNally. Microsoft. Not that. It's this one.
First, we need to open the box to get the box. So here we have the box that came out of the other box.
Just watch this.
And we're going to do another episode of 5-minute crafts that take less than 5 minutes. So first we have the case, Liquid Death, in the original packaging, so you know it wasn't tampered with.
He had to finish it.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that with the Beach Ball McCroy.
He's reading that.
All right, here's the lock.
What's
We'll make sure the key actually opens the lock, or make sure the lock operates.
Watch. That's the key.
Yep. Sometimes they don't. I'm not saying this particular brand, but it's happened where I've gotten a brand new lock and it doesn't even work. You can still pick it though, which is interesting. So anyways, cut the top off, put a slit down the side, and just cut a strip out. We're going to round it out. I'll remove this side because it's messed up. You don't have to do that. I'm just doing it so I don't lacerate myself on a aluminum shim. And that's it. You don't have to measure anything. No science, no math needed. Just going to shim it into the back. Make sure we're fully seated behind the latch. Give it a few pumps. There it is. First, we need to open the box.
Company calls me a liar after opening the lock if it can. See, this is what I'm talking about. No, I don't have caption. Oh.
To get the
This is what it says. Company calls me a liar after opening the lock if I can. He's not. He's just smart.